Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the MetsXMFanZone live podcast. We are going to be going live in just a few moments, so please stay tuned to our another edition. This is not a scheduled live podcast. We will be going live in just a few. So again, it's not a scheduled live broadcasting for today, but we will go live. So stay tuned. We got some really cool coverage for you guys. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MetsXMFanZone live podcast, home of your New York Mets. If you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe, and to get all of your New York Mets live streams, news feeds, and much, much more. You guys can check out our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. We give you guys all the best coverage of your New York Mets. But of course, we give you guys Met live streams 24/7. You can get it on our website. You could also purchase one of our plans on there by getting everything New York Mets throughout the whole 2024 season. We got Mets. We got spring training coming in 2 weeks. I'm down here in Port St. Lucie, and I got to tell you guys, this is absolutely amazing. Now, I also have two homes. I live in New York. I live in Florida. So, it's obviously, a really great time right now because spring training is here. So, a lot of, we're going to be able to see some Mets in just not, a very, very short period of time. So, it's going to be really cool to see. I'm really stoked, really excited. Uh, I mean, I think the Mets are gonna have a really good year. Just look at the lineup that the Mets have in 2024. You got Pete Alonso, you got um Adrian Hauser, you got Mania, you got re-signed of Adam Ottavino, you got Drew Smith. You got so many really good talent on this team going in the 24 season. Don't forget Brett Beatty. Don't forget Francisco Alvarez. Don't forget Mark Vientos. We really, a lot, everybody kind of like snubs Mark Vientos. Not too much of a big, guy out there, but I really do think Mark Vientos is a really good player. Um, he could be a really good DH. That's kind of how I look at it. If you really want to have, you know, DJ Stewart play the field, maybe put Mark Vientos as a DH guy. I think that could be a really good, combination. Um, Maybe once in a blue moon, see Pete Alonso sit down. You want to put in Mark Vientos there, first base. I mean, the Mets got a really nice, uh, I would say, versatility there in the fielding wise. Because, you got DJ Stewart that could play the field. Because if you really think about it, Daniel Vogelback didn't have that last year. We didn't have a guy that was able to also play the field. So DJ Stewart was that different sort of guy in putting in place there. So I really do feel that that was a good move for the Mets. So having DJ Stewart, and then the Mets got really nice prospects down in the minors right now. Lot of good moves. Jet Williams, I think, is going to be pretty good. You're going to probably see him in spring. You'll be able to see him. You'll probably see Acuna Jr. A little bit. You'll probably see what do you call Leonard Williams. You'll probably get to see a little bit. You'll probably get to see Josh Walker a little bit. So I mean, there's a lot of guys in the minors that you're probably going to see. So I mean, a lot of our regulars are probably not going to be playing in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe Francisco Lindor. Maybe that's kind of like a bit maybe. I would probably say you might see Pete Alonso play. Maybe that's a maybe too. You're probably gonna see Sterling Marte. I think on that one. Um, Harrison Bader. You might see Harrison a little bit in spring. I'll tell you guys from what I heard and the people I've talked to around the Mets organization that Harrison Bader is pretty excited. So I mean, I haven't sat down and actually had a conversation with him yet, but I know I seen him walk since I've been down here, and hopefully we get to hear something in regards to that. So maybe Bader, Brett Beatty. I like. I think Brett Beatty's going to be really good. I tell you one thing that people really snub about Brett Beatty a little bit is that his ability to play third base. I think his third base is pretty good. I mean, did he have a really good 23? Not really. I think, he was a little I think Brett Beatty was a little overwhelmed. And that's in my honest opinion. I think going into this year, maybe he might get the flexibility to be a little bit better. I think because of Eric Chavez going back as hitting coach, maybe that could be a really good benefit for him because he could be able to get his footwork needs to get a little bit better. Why I say that is because if you ever look at side by side comparison of the year prior and him being down in the minors, obviously being in the minors is what's doing the job. So him coming up to back to the majors, maybe he can just quickly settle in. I think Brett Beatty has a lot to overlook, and probably a lot of people are going to probably be very judgmental on that. So I think Brett Beatty will be fine. I'm not worried on Brett Beatty. Again, he had that first year jitters, and not everybody comes up and has a really good year like Francisco Alvarez did. But I mean, overall, you'll probably be able to see him, get the work done. I'm not really worried on him. I think he's going to be a really good third baseman. Now, I look at it this way. If he has a really bad 24 season, then maybe the Mets could actually go out and look for a third baseman. I don't know if they're going to bring in a first baseman. I don't think they're going to, do something there, but very well it can be. I'm not, again, worried about Brett Beatty at all. So I think he'll be all right. Working with Chavez, working with the guys in the minors, we'll get to see on what Brett Beatty could do in the 24 season. Now, let's talk with the progression of Francisco Lindor. Lindor had a very good 23 season. What can we expect him in 24? Doing the same thing. I'm not worried about him. A lot of people want to grade him between a B and an A. I say an A. I think he's going to have a really good 24 season. I want to see a little bit more home runs coming out of his repertoire this year. I would go maybe 25 home runs, maybe in between the 30. I would go at 100 in RBIs, just like Pete Alonso. You're probably going to see Pete Alonso, excel very early, as always. Nothing to worry about them two. But I do feel that Francisco Lindor deserves that A. Give Lindor the A. Lindor is a very good player. He's a good leader, and I really do feel that he is part of this ball club and expect to see him here for a very long time, and I really do enjoy that. I enjoy seeing Francisco Lindor being here, so I really like it. Then I could go with what the Mets did in the offseason in regards to pitching. Pitching was very, very important to the Mets. Having Quintana, we need to have him. He needs to have a very good season. He was 7-6. He was 7-6 last year. He had a 3.14 ERA. What do you expect to see out of Quintana? Hopefully, you could have a really good turn of events. Bring it around. I think that he might have maybe 14 wins because he went from 7. I think 14. If he's fully healthy, fully in good command, I think he's going to have a really good season. I want to see Quintana have a good year. Then moving to Kodai Senga, because Senga is going to be your ace on this team this year. What are you going to see out of Senga? Continue the same thing that he did last year. I don't think there's anything going there. I think he's going to have a very good year. And I expect to see him have a good year. So, moving there, I really do believe Kodai Senga going to have a good 2024 season. Then, let's go with the new additions. We got Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser is going to be on this rotation. Where? I would probably say maybe 4, maybe 5, because you got Sean Mania. Sean Mania is going to be in that slot. Probably your number 2, maybe your number 3. I probably would put Quintana there at the 5th hole. Quintana at the 5th hole. Then you got the Yankee guy. I think he's probably going to be in the 6th hole. It's going to be a lot of pitching. So, I mean, I'm very interested in seeing on what this team is going to do with a lot of these guys. Having Sean Mania, I think he's going to be really good. If he could do what he did with San Francisco, I really do believe it's golden. I mean, a lot of these guys were hurt. But you know what? They have really good potential on having really good years. So I'm not really worried on that. And then going back to the Adrian Hauser, if Adrian Hauser could have a good season, I think he'll probably pull out 14 wins too. I think the Mets could really pull out a really successful rotation this year. Just on the court, guys that they got, Sean Mania, then Kodai Senga, Quintana. Then we could really pretty much talk about the bullpen. I think the bullpen was really good. So, I mean, a lot of the guys that the Mets got, I think the Mets really did a good job in the offseason in getting free agents, getting little guys here and there. Fujinami, I think that was a really good move. The Mets picked him up the other day, $3.25 million. I mean, nothing too big. They signed into a 3-year option, 2 years plus the 3rd-year option. I think that could be a really good move in the pen. Adam Ottavino was also another re-sign like that. What can I see going out of Edwin Diaz in 2024? pick up on what he started back in 22. A lot of guys have a lot to prove this year. I think with the shorter contracts and what the Mets have done with getting shorter deals, I really did like that move, because when it's all said and done, the Mets could really run away with this division really early if they have really good pitching rotation and stay within their pitching. Then what can I see going out in regards to hitting? Who could be my top number 5 guys? I go number 1, P. Alonso. P. Alonso is going to give me well over 40 home runs, well over 100 RBIs. So P. Alonso is going to be my number 1. Now, here is the issue. Now, if Pete Alonso if the Mets are bad this year, Pete Alonso is going to get traded. If the Mets are good this year, Pete Alonso is obviously going to. I think Pete Alonso is definitely going to be a re-sign at the end of the year. It's just a matter of what money they're planning on doing with him. They're probably going to see on who leaves, who stays, and whatnot. I think the Mets have really good chances of keeping Pete Alonso here. Then Marte would probably be coming off the books at the end of the season too. Marte, I want to see him have a very good year. So I mean, there is a lot of guys going to be coming off the books at the end of the season. So I mean, there might be a lot of room for the Mets in cap space and in the luxury tax also as well. So why they're doing on these 1-2 year deals is, I think, in my opinion, very brilliant, very smart. They're not going out getting big contract moves. Listen, don't hate the game. The Mets are doing it right. I really do feel that the lesser the deals, the better they'll play. I mean, the Mets, let's call it what it was. The Dodgers are doing what the Mets did last year. What did? We took a nosedive. The Mets got nowhere, went nowhere. We ended up having Verlander. We had Scherzer. Pitching rotation went in shambles. The hitting wasn't as great because you brought in Daniel Vogelbach. The guy couldn't hit out of a paper bag. The guy was terrible. I think he was forced on by Billy Epler. And that's why Billy Epler decided to go. I just don't see what they saw in Billy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I don't want to come on here and be a hypocrite. I did say I liked Billy Epler, and I'm still friends with Billy Epler. I mean, but again, was he suitable for the job here for the Mets? I just think it was too way over his head, and that's in my opinion. I think that the team got a little steamy, got a little hot. At times they did. And, I mean, things didn't go the Mets' way. I think Buck Showalter, his lust didn't look so good. I think now having a new guy in, and I really do believe Carlos is actually going to, Carlos Mendoza, which the Mets picked up in the offseason this year. It's going to be really good. I know him well. He was with the Yankees organization. He was the Yankees bench coach. He was in the for the mind. Say, am I going to think he's going to come out of the gate swinging? Maybe. I mean, there's a lot to prove there. I think, in my honest opinion, the way the game is now might be perfect. It just might be perfect for Carlos, and I think Carlos is gonna. And he was part of the bench coach. He wasn't a good bench coach, and I like the way they brought him back down. So, with that being said, putting him back as a hitting coach was a smart move. Eric Chavez was a really good move. I do think that the Mets need to work with what they have. They're going to work with what they have. And hopefully we get to see something. Give me Fujinami. I'll take the Kodai Senga. I think Quintana gonna have a good year. I think Edwin Diaz has a lot to prove. Bring him when he comes in, starts looking really good. Then I want so a lot of guys are riding on this thing. I really do feel that the Mets need to. Uh, they have high expectations, but I'm not worried. I'm really not. So that's my analysis of today's show. We are live on all social media platforms. If you guys are membership, we do have our weekly, we have our monthly, we have our yearly. Now, all the into our membership for each one of our plans. So, I mean, guys, check it out. Why not? Check it out for 30 days. I mean, it's free. Yeah, I mean, it's free for 30 days. And just to let you guys know, it's ad-free. It's uninterrupted streams. No TV provider out. Check out the website, MetsXMFanZone.org. We got a starting tomorrow. So if you go onto our website at MetsXMFanZone.org, any news, all the details are in the show notes. So if you want to get our website, if you would like to get the spring training live streams, please feel free to do so by checking the links provided. I would like to thank you guys for watching here on our show today. Any questions, any concerns? Well, I'm in Port St. Lucie in Ocala right now, but we will be tomorrow at 4